Hey, this is Steven Platinum, your friend in wrestling, with Platinum versus AEW Dark Elevation. This is episode 32. It was a good one. Again, I think they hit that sweet spot. 7 matches feels right to me. A number of matches that I'll generously call competitive. And that's pretty great. Pretty great. So let's just jump into it, right? We open with Penelope Ford against Notorious Mimi. Notorious Mimi, haven't seen her a lot. This is not one of the competitive matches. Penelope Ford wins with that new submission she's been using, which is really great. So this gets 3 check marks. Why? 1 check mark for Penelope Ford going over in definitive fashion. A second one for her looking good in the process. And a third one for Notorious Mimi doing a good job here. She gets a disproportionately large amount of offense. It is competitive, at least in terms of Notorious Mimi getting offense for a while here. Second match, Santana and Ortiz, who are one of my favorites, against Primal Fear. But boy, was this is as close as you get in a squash match, in a tag match. I mean, Primal Fear got a couple of moves in, but really Santana Ortiz ran them over, and it wasn't a very long match. 3 check marks, though. They look very good. FTR against Lee Moriarty, which is awesome, and LSG. Moriarty really did the lion's share of the work there for his team, which is a good move. Dax pins Moriarty after a brainbuster. Lee Moriarty looks great here, maybe our performer of the show. FTR looks really strong here. This is the kind of quality I expect out of a Dark Elevation match, even the squash matches. And it's nice to see them getting back to form. I thought last week's Dark Elevation sure is the worst one that they've ever had. This one definitely brings it back to form. Speaking of back to good form, Tay Conti, God bless her, against Danny Moe. And we're seeing more new names here. Tay Conti wins in very definitive fashion against Danny Moe. There's really not a lot to this match either. 3 check marks, and we're moving on. Match number 5, Joey Janela and Crowbar, but not the Crowbar you may remember, but a different Crowbar. Before the match, it was great to see Joey Janela cutting a promo, a very anti-Philly promo. He ripped Hardcore Wrestling and Ben Simmons for leaving the Sixers and all kinds of silly stuff. Janela's trying to leave, but Blue Meanie stopped him. So after the match, Sonny Kiss attacked Joey. Joey Janela won in pretty quick fashion. It's really the gaga around it. Sonny Kiss attacked Joey, but Kayla Rossi grabbed Sonny so Joey could super kick him. Kayla then hit a corkscrew splash on Sonny before leaving. So they're really keeping that thing going for sure. One of the 2 competitive matches here at the end, Ruby Soho against Emi Sakura. How does a competitive match work? Do both sides look good? In this case, most definitely. That's a check mark. Did Ruby Soho win in definitive fashion? Yes. That kind of like the Pele kick thing that Ruby Soho did, which I guess is going to be her finisher. And was something advanced? Yes. I think this idea of Emi Sakura now is not just going to have squash matches, but going to have competitive ones as well. And Ruby Soho is going to get to wrestle these longer, better matches. I think that's really wonderful. 3 check marks. And then finally, the Butcher, the Blade, and Private Party against the Nightmare Family, in this case, Lee Johnson and Brock Anderson, and the Best Friends, Wheeler Yuta and Chuck Taylor. Butcher, Blade, and Private Party definitely win this one in a really aggressive, brutal fashion. Do both sides look good? I'd say yes, most definitely. It was especially a good outing, I think, for Lee Johnson. Brock Anderson, they definitely covered his tracks the best they could. Did Butcher, Blade, and Private Party win in definitive fashion? Yes. And was something advanced? I think so. I think the Hardy family office is going to see different incarnations, especially of the best friends in the future. So, a show that where the things that stood out was the Joey Janela Sunny Kiss stuff being advanced, and Ruby Soho, who really, really looked good in the match with Emi Sakura.